So, hello everybody. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to today's session. And today we're going to be talking about cloud security. It's just an introductory bit of it. Few weeks ago, or rather this week on Monday, the session had been uploaded for you guys to, go through what the mentor had taught. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. That was Margaret, but her good friend managed to cover up. Very well experienced in this space. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want based on cloud security, what you need to know, what you've learned, what you've researched on, etc. This is your moment. And Purity will be happy to share her knowledge, her experience within cloud security so that we can all learn from her and her experience in general. So Purity, welcome. The floor is yours. 15-minute recap, and then the mentees might have their questions, and it'll be your chance to answer them. So thank you and welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. Like I said earlier, it's a pleasure to be here and taking you guys through introduction to cloud security. I believe you all went through the video, and we're just going to do a small recap. Then after that, you're going to ask me your questions. But so far, let me test and see if anybody did actually watch the video. So who can tell me what basically cloud security is? Like, you can unmute yourself and just give me a short brief of what it is. Okay. So far none. So let me just say what it is. So cloud security, this is whereby a lot of businesses are right now scaling, and they're using cloud services to store their data, their particular business needs in the cloud. And this is where we as cloud security experts, we come in and help them protect their data that is stored in the cloud, and as well as also ensure that their data is able to be reached by people across the world. So that's where cloud security comes in. I know you all know what cloud is, and there are various companies that are using cloud at the moment. And for example, some of the cloud companies, some of the companies that are using cloud at the moment are big companies like Amazon, Google, and Netflix. And so far, we as security experts, we need to ensure that we are protecting them, so that we are protecting their data in these cloud services to ensure it is able to be accessed easily, and only the people who have that access to such data are prioritized to get access to that data. So why cloud at the moment? Cloud at the moment, it saves on costs. It enables resources to be shared across different countries, across different platforms. And right now, cloud is competitive. In the previous years, we would use like hardware, like a TV, a hard disk, a hard drive, an SSD to store data. But right now with cloud, you're able to store a lot of things, and you're able to also collaborate with different people across the world. And also for a company that is quickly growing up, it is able to scale without them having to spend money on getting external or maybe physical drives to store their data. But with cloud, they're able to just, with one tap, they're able to save the information. As we all know, or from the video that you watched, there are different types of cloud models. This is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. But since I've been asking questions and nobody is like volunteering to answer, I'll just say what these infrastructures are, or these cloud models are. So for IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. And for PaaS, that is platform as a service. And for SaaS, that's software as a service. This is whereby, for example, on infrastructure, if let's say you have
Hello.
Hello.
I don't see your slide.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'm sharing my slide. Sorry. A minute. I thought my slide was it was there. Let me a minute. I thought you guys were seeing my slides. Sorry. Give me a minute.
As you speak, prayer.
Alvin, can you please unmute? Mute yourself rather, not unmute. Yeah, thank you. Purity, is everything okay on your side? So let us be patient with the mentor while she tries to troubleshoot rather on her side, so that we can proceed with the session.
Okay, can anybody see my screen now? Hello?
It's loading. Okay, now we're great. Yeah.
Yeah, can be seen, yes.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. So, like I said earlier, we are going to, I believe you've all watched the video. So, a minute. And we were doing, I was explaining what cloud security is all about. So why the cloud? Many businesses, now it's a recap, many businesses are transitioning from physical storage of data on their local premises. So right now they're scaling and they're using cloud to store data to be able to also scale as well as doing their particular business needs so that they can be able to have access to resources to reduce the amount of cost that they will use to buy physical data storage equipment. And some of the examples of real world sorry, I'm not feeling well. Some of the real world examples of these companies that are using cloud right now is Netflix, Amazon, Google, and they're using they're using cloud to deliver services globally and also to ensure that many people around the world are able to access their resources, as well as internally they're able to store and save up data to ensure that nothing is lost. We all know we are transitioning from local data storage to now cloud, which is now the next big thing. And we as security experts, we need to ensure that their cloud, or maybe these businesses, when they hire us, we need to ensure that they're not being accessed by external people who do not have permission to access that data, like hackers or anybody who might use their data to do any malicious activity, or maybe use the data against them so that they can get money from them. So why cloud right now is that there's scalability, like I said earlier. In the past, we used to buy a lot of physical data storage to ensure that we are storing our data. But with many new businesses coming up and they want to reduce that cost of physically buying these products, these products, they need a way to ensure that as I start as a company right now, the data that I have while starting is still there like 10 years to come, like 15 years to come. And any new member who might join our company or maybe their company, they'll be able to access that same data, and they'll be able to understand how this company started and how it has been scaling up over the years. That's why cloud allows us to scale well from a beginner startup to maybe a big company, an SME or a mid-level company, or maybe even a large company. With cloud right now, there are many companies that are offering cloud services, and it is easy for you to pay as you go. So it's like a one tap. So for example, if you want to just like buy or maybe have your own cloud service today, it's easy to go on Google and look for cloud for companies that are offering cloud services, and it's easy for you now to pay, and within a couple of hours you already have your own cloud service. And then there's collaboration between this collaboration and mobility. You're able to, if maybe I have a headquarters in Kenya and maybe another headquarters in a place like South Africa, there's that collaboration and mobility of resources as well. And I'm able to access that information that is right there in South Africa, and the people who are at South Africa, they're able to access information right here in Kenya. There's also that part of resource sharing as well. It's simple as sharing data between you as a client and you as a company and I as your client are able to share some of your products with us, and I'm able to like access them from anywhere in the world. That's where now why cloud is more preferred than a local data storage that you have within your company. There's also competitiveness right now. We all know there's a lot of companies coming up with cloud services. My favorite is AWS. I love their cloud services, but there's also Microsoft themselves. They have Azure, which is, I believe, one of their coolest platforms in terms of cloud services. And basically, there are different companies that are offering cloud services, because right now that's the next big thing. And if you're not using cloud services right now, you're really missing out. And then for clouds, there are different cloud models whereby there's infrastructure as a service, and then there's platform as a service and software as a service. So for infrastructure as a service, this is whereby you are using virtualized computing resources like servers, storage, networking. And this is where you are able to manage like your operating system, your apps, your data.
Hello.
And sorry?
Will you be sharing the presentation, please?
Yes.
I can't capture now this one.
Oh, okay. Are you able to see my presentation?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. I'll share it with Karim, and he'll be able to share it with you guys, or maybe Margaret herself, she'll be able to share with you guys. But I
Yep.
believe it's the same PPT on YouTube that the one you were asked to watch. So this is
Yep.
basically a recap. I'm just doing a recap, and if you have any questions afterwards, you'll be able to ask. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for
Sorry, Purity, before you proceed, can you just please wait for your questions till the end? Because interrupting the mentor is gonna, take a long time till we get to the Q&A. So just save your questions till to the end. When she's done, you're gonna all ask your questions. She'll be happy to answer them. Thank you. Yeah, you may proceed, Purity.
Okay, awesome. So the next part we were discussing is the platform as a service. So this is where you're offered a platform where developers can run their code, and maybe manage their apps. And this is only used for application and data. And an example of such services are the Google App Engine, the Microsoft Azure app, and maybe I believe you've also come across Heroku. It's also a platform as a service, and it's a cloud model. The other one is software as a service. So this is where the services are fully delivered via software. So for example, I mean, this is like a fully functional application delivered to you via the internet. So when you're able to access like your apps, with the platforms that you use to access those apps, that's where what is it called? That's where that software that has been used to bring that app to you via the internet is basically a software as a service. And for example, is a Google Workspace. We all have Gmails here. The other one, I believe you've come across Salesforce. That's a software as a service. You use it to now do the various activities that you want to do on that platform. So, and it is being hosted or being hosted on the cloud. Yes, basically it's hosted on the cloud so that you can be able to gather all the information that you need and bring them right there to you. So there's one thing that entails cloud, and it is called the shared responsibility model. So this is whereby security responsibilities, they vary in different models. For example, user access, the data, the applications, the operating system. It's like now broken down into the different models that I've discussed. And mostly they are providers and their customers. You as the end user, you as the person using that Gmail, you're the customer. Google, the provider of that Gmail, that Google Workspace, they give you that, they are the providers, they give you that platform and to able to access now their services. And with the shared responsibility, the way it is broken down is that the different platforms have different on-premises activities. For example, user access, it's available across the platform. For example, data, it is available to infrastructure as a service platform and SaaS. And then for the applications, uh, these basically I'm going to share this structure and then you're able to go through it. And the white part is about customer responsibility. You as a customer, what responsibility do you have accessing these platforms and these models? And the ones in purple that are shaded in purple, those are the cloud provider responsibilities. They are mandated to provide those they are mandated to provide these responsibilities to you, the customer. So you as a customer, you have user access, you have data, you have applications, you're able to access your operating system and also gauge your network traffic. But now the company or the providers themselves, like Google, they give you now the user access, they give you the data, they offer an application for you to access, and basically you'll be able to go through this shared responsibility model between a provider and a customer, and you'll be able now to understand who comes where and what the provider does as well as you as the end user. So what are some of the key cloud security threats that are out there? Like I said earlier, there are data breaches, unauthorized access. You don't need everybody accessing your cloud service. You need to ensure that there's an admin, there's an admin who has maybe full privilege of accessing the entire system, and then there's you, the end user. You're only accessing what is provided to you, nothing else. You're not able to access the backend or any other thing that might interfere now with the system. But there are hackers out there. There are people who are using, or they're coming up with ways on how to breach this data and gain access to a company or to their system, to their cloud system. And we need to prevent that. The other threat is malware. People are coming up with different malwares to infect your system. They use you as the end user to gain access to the company. For example, they can send you a phishing email, or maybe a person shares a USB drive with you. You are thinking you're going to like download movies at the company because there are people who use their time at the company to do other extra non-business activities, and maybe they give you a USB or a flash drive. You go and insert it in your computer, work computer, and you don't know it is secretly injecting a workload into the system. For them now they have everything. Once you just like inject it to your computer, they in the backend it's doing its own injecting the system, trying to access different areas of now the system, already now you've given access to that person. You, in your mind, you know you're going to download a movie, copy it into your flash drive, go back home and watch. But now this is like a new trend, but that was a previous trend. Right now, there are many ways to infect a computer system. Right now, they're phishing. They can use email. They can social engineer you to do something. You basically, for you, you know it's something basic. It won't do any harm. But for them, they've social engineered you into doing something for them without your knowledge. So that's one of the threats that are out there. The other thing is identity theft. For example, I know where you work. I know where you go and take your coffee. I interact with you. Meanwhile, you've already displayed your access badge right there for me to see. So I can be able to, maybe I say like, or maybe you tell me you want to go to the washroom and you've left your personal equipment there. It's easy for me to grab your to grab your identity card, and maybe have a copier there, or maybe a small something that will be able to allow me to copy your information now maybe to my phone. There are ways cyber criminals are coming up. They can copy your data. Maybe you've left your ID badge there. They copy the exact data. They go and print it. Then they go and gain access now to the company. The security guard, they know they have a legit like identity card to access the to enter into the building. And little do they know that that person maybe has gone to the server room, or maybe somewhere else in the company, and they gain access. That is like one of the ways they can do identity theft. And you basically, people right now are sharing a lot of information online. Or maybe you can take a photo of you. I've been employed in this company, and you're posting, oh, I've gotten a job in this company. You've displayed your credentials there. It's easy for them to copy and gain access now to that system. So there are many ways to do identity theft right now, and it is up to us as cloud security experts to ensure that these companies do not undergo such threats, or maybe such such activities. So we need to come up with policies, procedures, and tools to protect our data, the applications, and the networks that we use in any cloud environment. Because right now, it's easy to gain access to any person's data right now. Some of the common cloud vulnerabilities is misconfiguration, outdated software. If you're not updating your software and it is not patched, they can use previously unpatched data to gain to gain access to that software. And once they gain access to that software, they are able now to gain access to the system and the entire backend of the cloud service. And that's why we are always recommended, or we are always told, ensure that you're using the latest data, the latest software, and not the cracked versions. The cracked versions, they usually come injected with some script. All of a sudden, you're running it, and then it is not allowing you to access some certain services on your laptop. So ensure you're not using cracked versions, and just update your software. And if you're not able to buy this, try saving up a couple of try saving up money and go and buy that actual software, but don't use cracked versions. Nowadays, they're entry points into a system, and they can take over a full system. Then, if you're not configuring your cloud service well, you might end up exposing sensitive data and sharing information that wasn't supposed to be shared. You, as an admin, you need to ensure that anything that is configured within the cloud service, it's who has permission to what, who has access to what. You need to configure those data well to avoid any, for example, a database being left open. The other thing is using insecure APIs. We all know developers use APIs, and APIs are gateways to get access to services. But once you have unauthorized access to an API, you're able to take over that system, and if you share any sort of sensitive information, it's easy for that person to gain access to your system. So ensure your API is secure as a developer. Ensure that that gateway is not accessed by anybody else who's not supposed to access that data. So these are some of the common cloud vulnerabilities that are out there, and it is our job to ensure that you've configured your system, you're not using cracked softwares, and you as a developer in that cloud service or system, you're using secure APIs. And then there are ways on how to secure cloud resources. This is like data encryption. You ensure that your data has been well encrypted, and during transit, during rest, because there are situations where data is at rest and where it is at transit. When it is a transit, that is like I'm sharing information from one end to another end. That is in transit. That data is moving. While it is at rest, that's, for example, it is in my own computer or maybe in my own cloud service. It is already at rest. It is not moving, but it is just there. And then the other thing is to ensure your network security is safe. These firewalls for different sections of your cloud service or maybe in your company, who has access to what? Again, this comes down to who has access to what, which Wi-Fi or maybe is for the employees, which Wi-Fi is for the admin, which Wi-Fi is for the CEOs. So you need to segment that network to ensure that if I, as an employee, if I have been social engineered to do something, that direct access, that network segmentation, if it is not there, I'll be able to, the hacker or the criminal who's social engineering you to do something will be able to gain access to any data that is being in transit in the CEO's office, in the admin's office. Because right now, if you're not segmenting your firewall, your network for your cloud resources, it's easy for any hacker to gain access. Once tu ameingia kwa system, if they just enter your system, that point, and there's no segmentation, they take over the entire system. But if you segment, they'll be able to face blocks. If maybe I am an employee, I'm trying, and that employee has been social engineered to gain access to the network the CEO uses, they'll face that block. So they'll have to have the CEO's credentials or maybe the network the CEO is using for them to gain access to the data or maybe to the cloud service that the CEO is using. So you need to ensure that there's network security. And then there's authentication. You need to ensure there's multi-factor authentication in your cloud service. For example, I, as an employee, I need to have an email, a password, and maybe a code to allow me to gain access to my data as an employee. If I am the CEO, I can have maybe a fingerprint or maybe an eye scanner that scans my iris to ensure that I'm the only person who's able to access that particular cloud service. So you need to ensure that there are different strong authentication measures within your company. If it is a fingerprint, ensure it is a fingerprint, a code, a couple of authentication system, a code, a bioscanner, what else? A password, a passkey. You need to combine these authentication measures within your cloud system or maybe within your cloud service to ensure that nobody has access to those, because my iris is not the same as your iris. My fingerprint is different from your fingerprint. And if I'm the only one who has access to this particular part of the cloud service, then you do not have access to that. So you need to also have strong authentication measures within cloud service systems that you're using. And also the secure monitoring. You need to also keep monitoring your system. Do not say, I've encrypted the data, I've secured the network, I've placed a strong authentication, an MFA system already within the cloud service, but you're not monitoring it. Human is to error. If you're not monitoring that cloud service, anything can happen. You've done everything. Yes, you've ticked the boxes, but if you're not monitoring that system, if you do not have tools like a security information and event management tool to help you monitor that cloud service, then you'll be able to miss out on key things that might affect your cloud service. For example, a hacker might find a way to gain access to your system and you didn't know, because in your mind you've ticked all the boxes. Like I said, human is to error. You need to always monitor, analyze, log, report you need to do all that. You need to ensure that your system is not in your head, that the system is secured, but on the ground, you're not actually monitoring the system. So please ensure that in as much as you've ticked all the boxes, you need to monitor, you need to have a tool to help you monitor, analyze, and log any sort of information that will happen in your cloud service. And then for identity and access, you need to, like I said, there's authentication, you need to verify the user. Then there's authorization, who has access to what. If I am the admin who has access to everything, the CEO has access to everything, the employee only has access to different things. So you need to define that. There's also auditing. This is where the monitoring, the logging, you need to monitor, analyze, you need to log any event that happened within your system. So this is all part of the identity and access management. You need in every IT world right now, in any IT department, in any basically network, cybersecurity, cloud security, anything that requires authentication, authorization, and auditing, you need to have an identity and access management system already in where you work, in your cloud security, in anything that entails what you're doing at that particular cloud environment. And then for network security in the cloud, like I said, you need to segment your network. You need to isolate different resources. That is virtual networks. Create a virtual network for this particular network, create another one for this particular network, and then break them down into security groups. Are there firewall rules in place? You need to ensure that that is there as well. And the intrusion detection, like I said, you need to monitor for threats. You can't tick all the boxes and you're not monitoring your system. Human is to error, ensure that you have this in place and it is part of your system. Once you log in into work and you're part of the cloud security department, ensure that these things are already in place, that there's already a system enforcing these things, that once you enter that cloud environment, you've ensured that you've monitored anything, any activity that was happening. It might be something small, but if you're not monitoring it, you might miss it. So ensure that there's a protocol for the network security in your cloud environment. And then there's data security and encryption. This is why I said earlier, you encrypt all the data, whether at transit, whether at rest. You need to ensure it is encrypted. And also these key management. This is where like pass keys come into play, binary codes that come into play, particular keys that are for your cloud environment. They are secure and they're placed somewhere only maybe one or two people have access to them, not everybody, just a couple of people. And then ensure that there's no data being leaked or any sort of data leakages within your cloud environment. This is where now the data loss prevention comes into play. So these are some of the things you need to ensure that in your cloud, in your department, or in your cloud environment, that they are key and they're essential, that they are part of it, that when you do your identity and access management, when you do your network security, and there's those policies in place, there's the data security and encryption, those things need to be in place to ensure that anything or any attacker from beyond your cloud environment is not able to access your system. Then the other thing is compliance and governance. Are there regulations in place? Are there industry standards you're following? Are there protocols that need to be followed? And are you following them? You need to ensure that you're doing that. The policies, the internal guidelines. If, for example, I'm a new cloud security person who's come to a department, what are some of the policies in place that have been set for me to follow, for me to ensure that I'm following them whenever I'm doing any of my cloud activities? Are there audits? Are there places where you have been monitoring, you've been logging them, you've been analyzing them? Was there an issue that happened? How was it solved? Is there something that I can look at? I, as a newcomer, so you need to ensure that there's compliance and governance within your cloud and environment, and also externally. And this is where now external industry standards come into play. So ensure that this is also part of your cloud service, your cloud environment, or the company you're working for that deals with cloud activities. And then the other thing is incident response. Like I said, is there an issue that happened before? How was it dealt? What tools were used to detect that issue? What containment measures were used to ensure that is it being spread? Has it been sandboxed into a particular area that nobody has access to it except the admin? And how was the recovery process? What did you guys do to ensure that you went back to how the system was previously before it was attacked? So you need to have an incident response in your cloud environment. You have tools for detecting, you have a way to contain that particular issue that has arisen, and you have a way to recover, or maybe there's a recovery plan in place. So you need also to have this particular document or this particular system within your cloud, be it in your cloud department or in your cloud environment. And how do you leverage cloud security services? Now, these are some of, this is where you're going to have things like security information and event management tool. We call it a CM. It helps log in any security issues and events that have happened within your cloud. And it will also provide you a real-time visibility and help you detect any type of threats that have occurred. There are different tools that help you do that. I once attended a Microsoft Azure event, and they were talking about how to use security information and event management to ensure that your cloud is safe. Also, the other thing, please do, if you're able to attend events, go attend events and also learn from experts who are already using these tools in their system, because they're going to show you maybe a basic example of how to analyze logs and events and how they've been detecting any sort of threats that attacks their system. Also do ensure that you are also attending such events that they discuss this. Then there's the part where we do vulnerability scanning. There's the automated version and there's the manual version, but right now we are in the AI world. So most of the things are automated, and there are tools out there that can help you to do a vulnerability scan. This is to identify any type of weakness within your cloud environment, any potential like vulnerability that might affect your cloud environment. These are where such tools come into play, and they help you identify them as soon as possible before they affect your system. And then there's the cloud security posture management. This is the CSPM. There are tools out there that can help you continuously assess your cloud environment. How secure is your cloud? And how secure is your cloud posture? And also it can alert you of any misconfigurations that we had talked about earlier, any violations, any policy violations that you're facing at the moment, and any potential threat that is happening out there. So right now there are tools that are out there that can help you secure your cloud environment, and you need to leverage using those tools. You can combine all of them to make a strong security posture for your cloud environment, or maybe you can pick a couple and try and put them into test and ensure that they are protecting your cloud environment. So you just don't say I've already automated the process and you're not like following up. You automate and you follow up and ensure that there's no loophole. There's no loophole that is affecting your cloud security or your cloud environment. So key takeaways from this is that cloud security is essential and it is crucial for protecting any sensitive data. And it also ensures a business is continuing, it's running without any hiccups. And you need to implement best practices. You utilize cloud security services, the tools, you stay informed, you attend events, you attend either virtually or physically. You stay up to date with the current trends that are happening, or maybe there was a recent cloud attack that happened and you don't know, you're not aware of it. How you need to also keep yourself updated and informed of any new threats, because right now somebody somewhere out there is coming up with a new way to infect a cloud service system. They're coming up with ways on how they can gain access to maybe Netflix or maybe Google and try and see how they can disrupt their business. So you need to stay informed, attend events, implement best securities, learn about these new tools that are coming up and the existing tools that were there, because still old is gold. I think old is gold, or so there's that saying, even the old tools can still help you. Don't just focus on the new tools. Combine the new ones and the old ones. They can be helpful, and stay informed. So that basically cloud security is easy if you're able to follow the processes, the procedures that ensure that your cloud environment is safe, or maybe the company you're working for and deals with cloud activities, you're able to ensure that also that company stays safe. So these are some of the key takeaways from cloud security, and I believe if you have any question, you'll be able to ask me about it. So what are some of the next steps that you can do to stay ahead? You need to practice security skills. There are different labs out there. For example, right now, there's a lab called Pond Labs. It deals with cloud. It deals with Google, Microsoft, and AWS. And at the moment, I've enrolled in a Google hands-on lab. It's a boot camp. So if you're able to gain access to such labs, please do go try them out, go learn, ensure you stay up to date. If there are certifications being offered, well and good. It will help you boost your the skills that you've already learned, because it is a proof that you've gone through that lab and you've gained that certificate, and you're able to show the world that you're able to deploy these security skills in real-time world events or activities. And the other thing, stay updated, follow cloud securities trends. Like I said before, attend virtual or physical events. Like today, there's an AWS community event happening, and it's all about cloud. Not about cloud. It's all majorly AWS is known. It's well known for cloud, and they have an event at KCA. So that is one of the events that are happening locally. And also, if there are any external events happening all over the world and they are virtual, and you have the time and the resources, please also attend them. That's how you'll be able to stay updated, and also to keep on learning. Like we all say in the tech field, tech doesn't stop with what you learned kitambo or in the previous in the past. Tech is ever growing, it is ever changing, and you need to keep yourself up to date with what is in the new. And whatever you have, whatever you had in the past, combine it with what you have, with whatever is happening, whatever is currently happening, and you'll be able to stay abreast on, or maybe stay well informed on what is like currently happening. So tech is ever changing. Don't say whatever I studied in campus is what's going to help me out here. No, keep yourself updated with what is currently happening. Go get that certification, not from campus, from the labs that are out there. Like I said, I've mentioned one called Pond Labs. They offer all of the cloud all the cloud, what is it called? They've touched on all of the cloud services environments that are out there, and that, like I said, Google, AWS, and Microsoft, their labs. Go test them. Some are free, some are paid, and some they also give them away for free. So be on the lookout, and you'll be lucky, and you'll be able to get a boot camp for you for free. So stay updated. And I believe we've come to the end of this session. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll be able to answer, as well as Karim, who's here, be able to.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Purity, for your time and effort, and sorry for being sick.
It's okay.
But we really appreciate your time and effort. So there are a couple of questions on the chat. So let's just start with the easiest one from Isaac, where he's asking for the links of both the labs which you mentioned during your presentation. So I think you can just paste the links there, and then yeah, he can have them on his disposal. But also there's a question from Wahoo, where she's asking how does the integration of AI and service platform, integration of AI as a service platform affect the landscape of cloud security from both a defensive and offensive perspective. And she says, thank you for your presentation. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Allow me to paste that lab here.
Yeah.
So that lab is called Pwn Labs, deals with cloud. So thank you for your question, Wahoo. So right now, AI has both. I can say AI has a positive and a negative side to it. If you look at it positively, in terms of cloud security, it can be a huge changer for you because it will help you do a lot of activities for cloud security. And for it being as a service, as a platform, I can say personally, I'll look at it in a positive way. It will be able to help me do my pen tests, and it also will help me gather more information about what I'm currently facing at the moment. Like we said, there are different ways on how different ways in how your security posture should look like, and having AI as an extra addition to helping you ensure that your cloud security posture is well, it will be like a positive for you. And on the negative side, using AI to do everything, and you're not learning, you're not building yourself, you're just doing your pen test with AI. We all know AI is not 100% accurate. It might have some bugs, and these bugs might leave your cloud security posture open. And we had talked about data loss prevention. So if your security posture is open, an attacker can be able to gain access to your system because you're fully dependent on AI. You dependent on AI to build that security posture. So it has both its positives and its negatives. It's up to you to utilize them to the best that you can. You just don't fully rely on them to create a security posture, to do your pen test, to do everything. Use it as a companion, not as a fully relying on it. You're studying, you're doing your skills, you're pen testing, you're using the knowledge that you learned from the labs that you did, and you're using that knowledge. AI should be an additional companion to you. It shouldn't it shouldn't be fully autonomous for you. For me, AI, I'll take it in a positive way. I take AI as a companion. Whatever I've learned, whatever I've gained, I just use that for the moment. And if there's any addition, I ask AI or use AI. But if you're fully depending on AI to do the entire security posture of your cloud, that might be that one you're opening up loopholes for people to gain access to your cloud environment. So I'll take that's what I can say about AI. It has its positives and negatives, and it's up to you to use it as a companion. Don't use it as a fully autonomous being that everything you do, you're using AI. Like the code it generates, you just copy and paste it and you input it in your cloud environment. No, you need to ensure you've sandboxed that code, tested it, and you've ensured that code is working before you put it now in your environment. That's what I mostly do for anything I'm currently doing with AI. I sandbox it. If it is a code, sandbox it and try it out and ensure it is safe, and then I use it now in the actual system. I hope I've answered your question, Wahoo.
Hopefully you have. So your next question will be from Claire, where she's asking, is it a must for one to be conversant with all cloud service providers, or is it okay to stick with one? What will be the best strategy for that?
For now, as a beginner, I would say focus on one. Understand how it works, because if you get to understand how one works, it will be easier for you to delve into others. But like I said, just focus on one. And if you're interested in the others as well, now it will be an option. It will be a choice to focus on the others as well. But for now, just stick to one. Understand how it works. If you want to learn another cloud service provider and how it works, you can try it out. But for now, just stick to one, learn how it works, try it out, like do internships, do labs, do peer-to-peer mentorship, and get to understand how that one works. It might serve you in the end, but if you're also still interested in learning about the other cloud service providers, that now will be your choice to do. But for now, just stick to one and get to understand how that one works.
Awesome. Okay, so your next question is from Joshua. He's asking how would I respond to a suspected data breach in a cloud environment? So he's looking at what type of tools or logs will he use to examine the AWS or Azure to confirm a breach. So what's the methodology around that? Generally, that's what he's asking.
Okay, so for the different cloud service providers, they have their own methodology, but one that is, I think, used across is to ensure that within that cloud environment, you have the policies that we had talked about. You have an incident response management into play, and that incident response management has already outlined how you're going to detect, what tools you're going to use, so and how you're going to contain that particular breach, because you've already detected with the different tools that you want to use. Like I had said, these CM tools, these vulnerability scanning tools, the CSPM, you can use those tools to detect how that breach happened, contain that breach, and as well as now audit and monitor that particular breach. What is the recovery plan for you to ensure that that breach doesn't happen again? But there are different methodologies. I think AWS has its own methodology and Azure has its own methodology. But one that really sticks out is to have an incident response management policy where you're able to detect what tools do you usually use, the containment procedure and the recovery procedure. So I think that is usually across, I believe, in most environments. I hope I've answered well. If Karim has any additions, please do add.
Okay. So another question is from Steve. He's asking, what is the principle of least privilege and why is it important in cloud security?
So with least privilege, this is where you want few people accessing your system. Like you do not need to have like the entire department accessing everything, because if something happens and they gained access to your system, you wouldn't know who actually was the culprit. So with least privilege, this is whereby you are secluding a couple of people who have different access. So for example, if it's an admin, they have full access. And if it is another co-worker in your system, they shouldn't have access now to how the systems work. They shouldn't have access to how the backend works and how your cloud security posture looks like. They just need to maybe have basic structure for them, and then for the admin, they have the full access. It is important in cloud security because it will prevent a lot of data breaches, because if everybody is accessing that system, I mean, we're all humans. Like I said, there are many ways of people gaining access to a cloud security, to a cloud environment. So having the least privilege policy as part of your your department or your cloud environment, it will able to help you pin down where that particular threat came from, or what really happened within the system, who had access to what did they do during their time in that system, and you'll be able to basically you'll be able to do a lot of things with the least privilege. And for me, that's my something that I also deploy in whatever I do. If I'm working with a friend on a project and it is a cloud-based project, I have full access, and then I give him or her a couple of access to different parts of the project we are working on. Because at the end of the day, I don't know who he or she interacts with, who knows about our project, and they might use him or her to gain access to whatever we're working on, and it is crucial. It is part of the company. So with least privilege, it helps you pinpoint your breaches and also helps ensure that your system is well secure.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure if there's anybody else who has a question. If you do, feel free to unmute yourself or ask your question on the chat, or we can end it here and we give Purity a rest because she's kind of not feeling well. We don't want to drain her completely for the
No,
day.
it's okay.
Anybody who has a question?
Hi, Purity.
Hi, Terence.
Could you please give a brief day in the life of your current job role?
A day in the life. So I'm pretty much all over. I'm generally a cybersecurity analyst with a company by the name EAGP. And what I do mostly is to ensure that their system is safe and secure. So we have a department for cloud, we have a department for SOC analysts. So these are two different departments. But since this is about cloud, I'll tackle on cloud. So we ensure we work with different clients across the globe, and we ensure they come to us for cloud services, and they mostly cloud security services, and they say we have this particular cloud service and we want it safe and secure. And so far we've seen a breach that has happened, and we need your interference. We need you people to come in and to help us secure and lock down this particular breach. So for us is to sit down as a team, come up with ways on how we are going to make sure that their cloud is well secured, and what basically the incident response plan that I was talking about. We as a company, we have our own, but we usually ask our clients, do you have one? Does your department have one? And most of these clients, honestly speaking, they don't have whatever we've talked about today. They even don't have an incident response plan. The admin has given access to literally everybody in the department, not just the admin, and they haven't even segmented their network. So you can find even the breach has gone beyond the cloud service that they were talking about. It has now infected their systems. Like a different attack has infected their system. So in the life of a cloud security person, I can say it's fun, and at the same time it's not fun if it is a huge breach. Because if it is a huge breach, you as the entire department, you'll sit there like even the entire night coming up with not even coming up with ways, ensuring that that particular breach does not go beyond what it has affected. So you're coming up with ways on how you are containing it. The system even is not in Kenya, it is out there. So you're working remotely. The people you're interacting with on there's that language barrier with them. So you need to explain some certain things to them in an easy way for them to understand, because most people out there are not tech. They do not have those tech knowledge with them. So you need to like be polite and use layman language for them to understand you guys better. And at the end of the day, it might take weeks for that particular small breach that happened. It takes weeks for us to fully contain, fully recover their system, and fully ensure that we've given them a procedure that they can follow in case another attack happens. But it's a lot of also teaching their departments, because there's a part where we, at the end of now the entire thing, we've detected what particular breach has happened. We've contained it, and we've come up with a recovery plan, and we've given them. Before we release them, we call them into a meeting. We teach them how you're going to use this response plan, how your admin should do particular activities in your company, and what the CEO what the CEO is supposed to also have access to, and what now the employees should have access to. So basically, it's to we make sure that their system is safe. We've detected, we've contained, we've recovered the entire system, and then now we teach them how to use now the response plan that we're going to give them. We teach them how to basically, mostly it's the admin, but even the entire department, we tell them, you're not supposed to do this and this. You're not supposed to share your credentials online. So it's a lot of that. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, madam.
Hi, Isaac.
This is Isaac, and thank you. First of all, you shed light several things that I really gained. My concern here is what I'm raising here is I'm a founder of a startup.
Uh-huh.
and making sure that the reputation of that company to be protected. It needs I to develop information security management plan or policy, and I want to be ahead of the curve. That's why I'm learning this course now. I want to be ahead of the curve for my employees. Okay. So what I wanted, are you able to help me in drafting information management security plan or policy? Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll be able to help you, but not during this weekend. Maybe sometime next week, or maybe we can plan and we can sit down and come up with something for you and your company that you can use in the meeting. But it is, since you've said it's a startup, so basically what we're going to cover is a basic system that will help you protect whatever what is already there and prevent any future. But this is tech. Anything can happen. Any attack from anywhere can happen. So as long as you have the tools in place, you have your containment area in place, your recovery plan in place, it will help you maneuver anything that might come your way. It might take weeks or days for you to maneuver what will come your way, but having basically even having that structure in place to help you identify what you have and what might be coming, it will be a huge game changer for you, Isaac, and your company. And we can say from there we can always advance, we can always change and advance the current plan that you have according to the different attacks that you might come your way, depending on what you guys deal with. Because at the end, if you deal with health, there's a different plan for health. If you deal with security, there's a different plan for security. But all of them are simply the basic structure is the same, but we can always find time, we sit down and come up with something that is going to help you and your company.
Okay, thank you. So you are in the WhatsApp group.
No, I don't think so.
So you can drop your email here for me to follow in the future.
Yes, I believe after this I'll have a talk with Karim, and if I'll be able to join the group, I can be able to answer the rest of your questions there and anything that you might need, and we can set up a meeting later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Purity. That's no problem. But also, Ruth is asking for your LinkedIn account so that she can follow you. I believe so, and maybe the rest can follow you there on LinkedIn and get that in touch with you directly. For Isaac, we've had conversations around that, so I'll link you up with Purity so that you guys can have a discussion further on that. A specific problem that you have, so she'll help you out there. Anybody else who has a question before we wrap up? Because time is not on our hand. Anybody? We're going once, twice. Okay, so I guess we're going to just end it here right now. So Purity, thank you very much for your time and efforts that you've placed on this session. We really appreciate it. And hopefully next time we're going to engage further on more engagements, and looking forward to interact with you more. So guys, Purity has already shared her LinkedIn account, so you can follow her before I terminate this session for today. The recording is going to be available pretty soon on the YouTube channel as usual. And I'm going to release more labs later on in a few minutes so that you can proceed with the upcoming session that we have for next week. So thank you very much. I guess we'll call it a day.
Okay. Have a lovely day, everybody.